Good evening. Sorry for the slightly late start. Downloading the art. That's right, the art is here. Obviously, it hasn't been uploaded just yet. The fact that So I should be able to get all the emotes uploaded. Which, then those need to get approved, and then all the subscribers will have some fun little emotes to. And did I give a little I don't know, preview all the early birds here? You guys want to see? All right, hang on. Everybody's filtering in. It'll look at that one. Oh, there we go. All right. So, all of you early birds, here is one of the emotes. Check them out. Friendly little rock fella holding a heart. So, visual preview. Kind of off. I'm just noticing that. Fix that for next. All right, so tonight we are back with Kerbal Space Program. Make sure that everything is as it should be. Got KSP playing in the background. Got it loaded up. Emmykin says, "Aw," likes that one. All right. Just for you, Emmykins. You sneaky people who decided to show up early. I got one more. This is my favorite one, I think. This is the one that I'm hoping you can get a lot of use out of. Crystals. Perfect. That is going to be the... Oh, what would you call it? I guess kind of the... That's both the channel points, and it is also kind of the like general vibe. And it's going to replace, probably for the time being, my... Got some kind of weird brain fog because of the cold. My profile picture. That's the word. Cold up here. It's making me think. That out of there. Howdy, Beetle Rock. I can't do the Julia voice, but welcome. You're just in time to get a sneak preview of some art that I commissioned for. But I know what everybody's really here for. You guys are here for some KSP. And also, I believe I promised a webcam tonight. Let me make sure that is functioning correctly before I broadcast any unintentional parts of me. So just hang on 1 second. This is very... I do like the cold, yes, Emmykins, but it still affects me. I'm not immune to it. Properties are good. it's the right size. Can I flip it? All right, hang on. I gotta flip it in the camera itself. Don't worry, guys. I'm on it. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get this situation figured out. Plus, people are still trickling in, so rush to get Kerbals. Okay. There we go. All right, perfect. Now, there we go. Okay. What kind of art is it? It is, so it's basically everything. So it's overlays, it's emotes, it's a little character that I guess is gonna represent me. Maybe someday YouTuber stuff. I don't know. Yes, very nice. So the emotes will take some time to get approved, but the rest of it, I'll just need to make some time sometime this week to have it all updated across my Streamlabs. Be the overlay stuff. Because right now, you can see is VTuber stuff. Well, no, it's not like a rig or anything. That comes later. I want to make sure I have the design of the avatar right. Here, you know what? I'll bring him up for you. Hold on. Let me go back to the stream starting. Find it. Find a good one. I think she did a logo. There it is. Okay, there he is. Yeah. Property. Yes. So this is. Oh, it's really big. Second. How big is it? Gotta resize it. Oh wow. He's really big. There we go. Okay. Transition. There he is. Okay. So this is the character. And I like how he looks. I have a few things that I might change going forward. But for the most part, I like the design. I'm going to get some feedback from everybody to see what they like, what they don't like. I'll be taking notes. Talk to some artist friends of mine and see if they have any suggestions. And then I plan to go back and get a full makeover of everything based on the feedback that I've gathered. So none of this is all set in stone, despite the fact that he is literally made of rocks. Too big, it's like causing me to drop frames. That's how big it is. Get that. Oh, sorry about that. I had that turned off. I do. All right, let's get back to Kerbals. Enough. Oh wait, I said KY. Well, don't mind if I do. Let me grab some. What does KY make? KY make jelly, or is it lotion? One of the two. Thanks, Maxim Federico, stopping by the stream tonight. All right, let's get that webcam that I promised. Hi. All right. All right, I did promise that I would do this, so here we go. Oh, hang on. It the image just froze. Give me a second. Let me fix the camera. All All right, I think I fixed it. Let me transition. Hi everyone, it's me. I don't know what you expected, but this is what you get. Let me know if the camera is blocking anything during the gameplay. And we are going to move on. Fire up the game. It's you. It is me. This one is me. It's not Chris Evans. Sorry. I know everybody really wanted it to be Chris Evans, but unfortunately... Sorry. Alright, what were we doing? I am totally out of it. We haven't played in a whole week. Implant a flag on the Mun. That is still ongoing. And we... For Eve. Gonna be... probably the subject of the 12-hour stream this Saturday. The pink headphones make up for it, you say. They're not actually mine, but I suppose I would say that, right? So we can repair a satellite in orbit of Kerbal. That could be an... Do a couple of rescues, maybe? Mostly the ears. I think they're detachable. I just never bothered to take them off. Because I didn't know they were detachable until I looked at them. I got a camera! Hello! Welcome, Vulcan Rider. Ooh. Maximum power, the emote says. Or possibly just a regular amount of power. So I'm thinking we want to do a quick rescue. Let's warm up here.
Oh.
See where this poor Kerbal is. He's right there. So I think grab him, and then we'll move on from there. Anything that I need to remember? I don't think so. Now I understand why Urban Venture plays this every stream, because you put it off for too long, you forget what the heck you were doing. I think we can use a savior, like our purpose-built rescue. And I think I'm actually going to send up an engineer and drop them off at the Jeb Memorial Station. They are technically Emmykin's earphones, yes, Vulcan Rider. But she doesn't use them. Oh, well, okay. So I had headphones. They're in the garbage now because they sucked. And she got these. For Gaming, BTW, hello there. And I was like, okay, my headphones suck. Let me try these ones. And they're really good. Like, they're USB. The mic sounds pretty decent. Ad. Oh, you got an ad? Oh no, sorry. Sorry, everyone. I thought they're not supposed to start for 30 minutes. I've only been live for 15. But anyway, so I got these headphones. Emmykin's got these headphones. I used them, and now I use them. So I guess they're technically mine now. Alright, off to the races here. So we're going to grab Valentina. We're going to take Dillis up to the Jeb Memorial Station. Everything I think we need. Which, yeah, that's weird. Like, I have it set so they shouldn't play in the first 30 minutes. But... Cute furry headphones. Yeah. They're adorable. I think we can head on over and speed up time. Faster rendezvous. Here is our target. Deadlock. Let them catch. Yeah, I don't think we have any ongoing missions, so we should be fine. Alright. Let's go ahead and fire it off. So chat's pretty bumping tonight. Where Gaming says, I'm going to start a whole new career save like yours, because if you can show me your settings, and yeah, Sure. So basically all I did was put it on hard. That's it. Hard turns down. Oh, that's music. Hang on. Can I click on this? Okay. So if you set it to hard, it sets all the rewards to 60 and the penalties to 200. Doesn't allow reverting or quick loading, and missing crews do not respawn. Plus all this other stuff. And yeah, the G4 stuff still isn't implemented, which is something I've thought about. And I don't do the plasma blackout or wire signal. I feel like I should have that enabled, but it's not part of hard, so I'm not going to. Kitty Lynn has come with a beautiful emote. Welcome, Kitty Lynn. So many people like Kerbals, it's crazy. Should I just play Kerbals all the time? Is that what you people want? Fire the torpedoes. Number 1, I need to take a number 2. Get back into it. Nope. Okay, so this is the Savior 3. Got it loaded up with our passengers. Let's launch. Look at that little sunglass fella. He's so cool. I'm not super into Kerbal. What are you super into? And yeah, I find Kerbal, like watching people who are either really good or really bad at KSP is pretty fun. Even if you don't like to play it. I like to play it. So that's the thing. Hearts of Iron. Oh, you came for Hearts of Iron, huh? Oof. That's a tough one. I'm probably gonna pick up the DLC for the Steam Holiday Sale, and then we'll return to that at least a few more times. Been packing. What are you packing? Okay. This is the difficult part, so forgive me if I'm not looking directly at chat for a few moments. Okay. Also, how's the camera placement? Is everybody okay with that? It shouldn't be blocking anything. It should be like over here where there's not really anything going on. Packing to visit family. Packing. Gotcha. That's cool. I have not had to pack to visit anywhere in a long time. The last place that I traveled was a friend's wedding, and I packed a single backpack. That was never a gravity turn, was it? And I managed to survive like 3 days on just what I could pack in a backpack. What's your package? I got a package for you. It up here? Feel good. Ina is a master of these launches now. Unfortunately, I am not. I'm technically the one. Is it something naughty? Long as you got your suit. Yeah, the suit I rented there. So basically I just needed some clothes, PJs, a few like toiletry things, and most of that I couldn't even bring on the plane, so you know how that goes. I had to buy some of it when I got there and then just leave it. Kind of sucked. But is that a 2.5? Yeah, this is 2.5 scale. This is the Mark III cockpit. The Mark III fuselages, tanks. The engine is Mark III, or not Mark III, but 2.5. Gang's all here. All right, so now that everybody's here, or at least a couple people are here. Oh no, you guys distracted me again. Look at our apoapsis. What the heck, guys? Come on. You know I'm not supposed to look at chat when I'm. All right, let's fix it. Killing me. At least you're not killing any Kerbals. Quit blaming chat. All right, well, I can't blame myself. That would be admitting failure. I need to unlock the bigger stuff. Yeah, the bigger rockets, like, they're not necessarily better. You can just, they're bigger. So if you need your rockets to be bigger for whatever reason, it's an option. But you can go to Mun and Minmus with just your standard size stuff, the 1.5 or whatever. So now we need to fix this. How are we gonna get out of it? I'm making it worse. I really am. Okay. Do that. All right, see you guys in 8 hours. Gee. What a disaster. Oh no. Can we fix this? Oh boy. We got Sad Poro. It's alright. No, it's not chat's fault. I got distracted again. That tends to happen during these streams. It's alright. Hopefully we have enough Delta V to fix this. I think we do. A little rocket that could here. So we're just gonna flip these around a couple of times until we're at a better intercept. Why did you hurt her? You took the Rickroll pledge. I never took the Rickroll pledge. I haven't been Rickrolled in a long time. Now that you mention it. Okay, now before I accuse chat of distracting me. What were we talking about? You're right. I'm never gonna tell a lie. I'm never gonna... Wait. I don't remember what they all are. Your Rickroll pledge is your birth certificate. Alright. That's fair. So, okay, I was talking about going on a trip. And yeah, so I had to go to this wedding. I'll tell you about this wedding, because this wedding sucked, by the way. I get there. First of all, I can't rent a car because all the rental cars are gone. So luckily, there was a guy on the plane who was also going to the same wedding. Small world, right? And we caught the train. This was in Philadelphia. So there's like a subway / commuter train, whatever you want to call it. And luckily that took us to the rehearsal church. Well, the church that the wedding was going to happen at. And so we went there, we did the rehearsal, we got lunch. Not in that order. We did lunch first, then we did the rehearsal. Then we went to the rehearsal dinner, which was okay, it wasn't bad. Then everybody was drunk, so I'm pretty sure I had to drive home from the rehearsal dinner. And I'm like, I've never been to Pennsylvania, I don't know these roads, I don't know where we're going. Like, they put it in the GPS, and then I gotta drive. It's the middle of the night, it's dark. I get to the place. My friend's house where I was staying at was, first of all, it was tiny. There were no beds, so, you know, we got the couch, we got an air mattress, we got like 6 guys staying there. But, you know, whatever. We make do. Oh no. Carry apps is terrible. Alright, we'll leave it at this for now. And try to fix it. To the Apo apps. Alright, day of the wedding. It's raining. Okay, fine. Maybe it'll stop. We have to get our suits. So we all have to drive to someone's house where all the suits have been collected. We get there. We try on the suits. My suit's way too big. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'll hold it up the whole time with my hands. Because no belt. Or maybe there was a belt and it wasn't enough. I don't remember. We go to the wedding. It is a full Latin Catholic mass wedding. It's like an hour and a half long. We gotta get up and sit down and stand up and kneel constantly. I don't know what they're saying. It's all in Latin. Oh boy. Okay. I'm like mad just thinking about it. Then we go to the reception. which is at somebody's house on a farm in a field, and it is still raining. So I've got these nice dress shoes on. The girls are just screwed because they've got their heels and whatever. So they're just like going barefoot. I'm wearing socks. I've got these pants are way too long. They're going to get covered in mud. My shoes are covered in mud. The mud is sucking people's shoes off. Ugh. Then it just keeps like the reception just keeps going. And then the rain kind of lets up. Okay, cool. Maybe it'll get better. Nope. Instead of saying, okay, well, the rain's kind of let up. Now would be a good time to leave while we're all kind of dry. It keeps going. Then it starts raining harder. And then everybody's drunk, except for me. So obviously I have to be the responsible one and drive. Yet nightmare wedding is right. I'm never going to a wedding again. It was that bad. I'm the only sober one, so I've got to drive. Okay, cool, whatever. Still don't know the road. Still don't know where the heck we are. The people that I'm supposed to be taking are drunk and belligerent, and they will not listen to me when I say, "Okay, guys, it's time to go." The reception has been over for like an hour at this point, and they're just hanging around. Okay, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go get the car started. And okay, here's the other kicker. We had to park like a mile and a half away because that's the only parking. It was like another church nearby to this farm in the middle of nowhere. So we had to, there was like a shuttle service out to the parking lot. And I'm like, okay, guys, here's what I'm gonna do. You guys wait here at the reception. I'm gonna take the shuttle over to the parking lot, get the car. I'm gonna come back and we're all gonna leave. I go over to the parking lot. I take the shuttle. I get in the car. I drive back. Nowhere to be found. They have wandered back off to get drunk and be belligerent. I'm like, okay, guys, listen. You guys can, I can't like park on the road, right? It's a rural highway. I'm like, okay, guys, you have like 15 minutes. I'm going to stay on the driveway as long as possible, but eventually other people need to leave. And I wait 15 minutes. Nobody shows up. I'm like, okay, listen, we got to leave now. And I try to send texts because everybody has cell phones. It's 2020, 2021. Nobody responds because all their phones have died because nobody thought to recharge them. Eventually, I get them all corralled. Say, okay, we're leaving. And they're like, no, there's a party at this hotel. You got to take us to the hotel. It's like almost like 11:30 at this point. It might have been later. I don't remember exactly the time. But it was late for me. And I had to leave to go to the airport in the morning. Yo, he got the gamer headset. That's right, Var, I do. You jumped in just in time for my nightmare wedding story. Although it's getting kind of towards the end. So I get them all corralled. They say, you got to take us to this hotel. There's like an after party. And I'm like, okay, fine. We will go to this hotel. I will stay for like 45 minutes and then we got to go because I got to get to bed. Because I have, stuff to do. They're like, okay. Luckily, saved by the text, we get a text. It's like, okay, the after party is canceled. Everybody's too drunk. Somebody robbed us a Wawa, which is a local gas station there, and then threw a bottle of wine and made a mess. But thankfully, since somebody got drunk and stupid, I got out of that. Oh, yeah. WTF indeed. Anyway, no more weddings for Starshard. That's for sure. Time to fix this. We've completely bungled this, by the way. Oh, maybe not. We can fix this. All right, I'm getting real distracted by this wedding story. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Because that's not the end of it. Because I still have to get to the airport the next morning. And it's pushing midnight. And I think my flight leaves at noon. And I'm like, okay, guys, we need to work this out. Everybody's drunk. But guys, we need to figure this out. Who is taking me to the airport in the morning? I don't have a car. And we're out in the middle of nowhere. And they're like, oh, I'll get my family's got to go back to Philly. and they can take you. And I'm like, okay, sure, fine, that works. But nobody wants to go to sleep because they're all idiots and they want to keep drinking. So I had to invent this game where we would watch YouTube videos and then like pass the remote around basically and be like, okay, you pick a video that's like 2 minutes or less. We'll see who picks the funniest video. Go. Luckily that calmed everybody down. A few people puked. Eventually around like 4 in the morning, everybody gets to bed, or at least I do. I guess I don't know what happened after that. And in the morning, the guy who was like, my family can take you, is like, oh yeah, they're not leaving until like 2 or whatever, so they can't take you. Luckily, the guy that I had ridden the train with the other day had managed to get a rental car in the meantime, and he offered to drive me to Philadelphia. But here's the thing, he got a date on Tinder at like the day of the wedding. So he took a Tinder date to that wedding, and then I don't know if they like went back to a hotel or what. And he's like, okay, well, I gotta like meet my Tinder date because I said we'd meet up and get lunch before I left. I'm like, okay, fine. Get me into Philadelphia. I'll find a train and figure out how to get home. And obviously I did because I made it home. Anyway, that's my disaster wedding story. If your friend asks you to fly across the country for a wedding, just say no. No matter how guilty he makes you feel about it. Well, I guess to be fair, he did come to my wedding, but that wasn't exactly a stretch for him. Oh, we overshot our target. Alright, I think I fixed it. Should be good now. Alright, Var. Good luck with your updating. Did he what? Yeah, I think he was at our wedding. Maybe he wasn't. Now, yeah, nope, never go to a wedding. And I guess if it's your wedding, you can go. Or if it's nearby, and you don't have to wear a suit or a dress or whatever. Because that's just a pain in the butt. I feel bad for those poor bridesmaids. They gotta, well, actually that might have been paid for. I had to pay for my suit though, it was like $200. Like, first I gotta buy a plane ticket, I gotta fly out there. I've been married for 13 years, Vulcan Rider. I believe we've discussed this. Yeah. I'd probably have a small wedding. Smart move. Never... It's not worth it. Nobody paid for channel points for financial advice, but here's my financial advice for you. Don't have a big wedding. You didn't meet him till New York. Yeah, that's probably true. We went to the Justice of the Peace. Yeah, that's smart too. Like, I got my friend ordained online, which thinking about it now seems kind of sketchy, but it worked. And then it cost me like $50 for the wedding license. And my squad leader at the time, I think, gave me like $100 as like a wedding gift. So I ended up coming out $50 ahead on my wedding. So that is my recommendation to you. If you want to get married, unless like someone else is paying for it, don't go crazy. There's no reason to. You can do so much, like, take the money you would spend on a wedding, go on like a fun honeymoon. That would be way cooler. Better here? Alright, despite my wedding ranting, we seem to have gotten a hold of target here. Oh, my cat's here somewhere. I hear him. There he is. Hello, buddy. Okay. I think we can probably just speed up time. This. I would probably actually get married in private, like married on paper. Yeah, that works too. And then talk it out with my partner and parents about what they think about it. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Like, I think the age of the like extravagant wedding is like a huge scam. Somebody's getting rich off of that, and it's not you. Ooh, another pilot. Nice. We have been in desperate need of more pilots, actually. since we need a pilot for like every base station. I think my mother and father would love the ceremony. Like a big ceremony or just like a ceremony? Because I left my parents entirely out of my wedding. Mostly because it was like kind of a really over the weekend kind of thing. Alright. Our next target is the Jeb Memorial Station. It is here. So let's see if we can't get ourselves a rendezvous. Okay. I think it's gonna end up being something like this. Vulcan Rider says, we were married in California, my family was in Illinois, and hers were in Virginia. Yeah, that's basically how it was with us. Like, all over the country. Got married in California. Nobody was around. They're like, can you please not get married? I'm like, no. Screw you, I'm getting married. It's not your decision, it's mine. And I know a lot of people, like, are on good terms with their parents. I'm not really. Fortunately. Maybe matter to me. Oh, we're getting there, chat. Here it comes. Clicking, we're clicking, we're clicking. Oh, that. Just a few more little happy taps. Somewhere right around there, I think, should be good. That is in 43 minutes. All right, perfect. As long as we don't crash into this debris in the meantime, we should be fine. Oh, Score Gaming, you're not new. But, hey, how's it going? Welcome to the channel. Really appreciate every new person who shows up. I gotta practice that. Assembly on my word. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, it's really cold outside. It's like 5 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like hang on, I know this. Negative like 19 or something. I don't know exactly. Can't do the conversion in my head. But it's cold. I had to walk home in it. My legs were like icicles because I don't wear that many layers on my welcome. Yeah, okay. Alright. Well, I'm glad to see people are using the channel points. You're not going to save up for the big stuff? Alright. I did put some real big rewards on there for the high rollers of the chat. So if you're in here enough, eventually you'll be able to force me to play a game of your choice. Or whoever's choice, I guess it doesn't really matter. Pick a game. I also added a new one today that I still need to put an image for, which is talk in a regional US accent. Or attempt one, I guess. I can't guarantee it'll be good, but I'll try my best. Okay. Also, what do you guys think of the camera placement up here? It's basically the only place that I could actually put it. Kind of hard to look directly at the camera, so I feel like I can't actually look at you guys the way I want to. The Kerbals look happy, do they? They often do. Just sort of their nature when they're in space. Yeah, oh. Yeah, they're just vibing. Alright, let's get this. Burn time 0.9 seconds. Ooh. Interesting one. Guess we'll give it a go here. MSFS 2020. Is that supposed to be an emote? Or is it something that are referenced? Here's my water bottle. It's really big. I don't have a hydrate command because I just hydrate naturally. And I missed our shot here. Hopefully we can recover. I think we'll be fine. Intercept is good. Like, yeah, that's good. There is an El Gato logo. Yeah, that's not like super intentional. I just wanted to make sure that the camera worked before I paid for the full version. So eventually that'll be gone. It a game, it's a flight. Oh, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Gotcha. Natural absorption of moisture from the air. Boy, I wish I could do that. Or if I had like a still suit or something. But even those have like a little straw that comes. Okay. So we are on track to rendezvous. Why don't we go ahead and that's selected and speed up time, see how it goes. Yeah, if I'm drinking, I will mute so you guys don't have to hear me like guzzling however many cups of water at once. Don't freak out. The audio stops. I drink 1 mug of coffee in the morning. Between 40 and 80 ounces of water. That's a lot of water. I think. I don't know how much that would be like by volume. Blurp. Yeah, you guys don't want to hear. This isn't an ASMR channel, despite what some people would have you believe. My voice just happens to be very soothing to. You don't know how much you drink. I mean, as long as you're drinking when you're thirsty and you don't feel like dry, then I think you're fine. Between 1/3 and 2/3 of a gallon. Yeah, I think that's probably good. I don't drink anything but water usually. So I have like a bunch of big water bottles that I use to refill throughout the day. I have one for work and then one for home. This is the real big home one. And my work one is somewhere. Closing in on the Jeb Memorial Station. Dropping off Dillis the engineer. Score Gaming says, I drink 2 cups of coffee all every day, and the cup itself is 2 cups. You drink 4 unit cups of coffee a day. I don't know how much coffee is like a good amount to drink. I don't drink any because, boy, I can't imagine like not being able to function without coffee. That would feel crap. Going the totally wrong way. But we're still fine. We've got plenty of Delta V in the tank. Make our way over. If you guys will recall, one of our earlier episodes, this was the station that Jeb unfortunately got blowed up in. We fixed it up and put it in a really high, not really high, but like higher orbit. And now it functions pretty well. Yep. Rip to a real one, Jeb. Pour one out for Jeb. Big cup of coffee. Addicted to coffee, huh? Yeah. If I'm addicted to anything, it's video games. And even that's kind of more of a, I just need to have access. I don't actually need to play them. Then I spend most of my time just watching Twitch. Vulcan Rider says, I drink a mug. I need my coffee. In fact, after 2 or 3 days, I'll get a caffeine headache. Ugh. Yeah, Emmykins used to be like that too, but she managed to kick the habit. It was touch and go there for a while, but she managed to not kill me in the meantime. Alright, we are approaching the station. What do you guys think of having lights on your vehicles? I know Urban Venture has them on one of his landers, and I really liked how it made it look. But it's one of those things where it seems superfluous because it doesn't do anything functional. Maybe that's okay. Like ASP, it's just kind of is what it is. Fun. Urban down there. Coffee is not a bad habit to have. It's good for you, at least this week. Well, I guess if you split the difference, yeah, eventually it might be more good than bad, if you're lucky. I think a little bit of moderation goes a long way when it comes to stuff like that. Kitty Lynn says, I don't usually drink coffee. What do you usually drink? Are you a water person, or are you a soda juice person? Maybe like sparkling water. I know some people are really into that. Supposedly it fights dementia. Uh-oh. Oh no. Am I gonna have to drink coffee in order to avoid becoming forgetful? How many times have we had this conversation? Water, soda, energy. Energy drink. Yeah, that one's a no for me for sure, but if you can handle it, I suppose it's probably fine. All right, Dillis. Welcome to your new home, freak. All aboard the Jeb Memorial Station. Piloting the Gilkis. You guys have a good time. We get back down to Kerbal. Ladies here. Make sure we're not going to crash into the station. That would be really dumb. Oh, Kitty Lynn can handle the power. Sodas are bad juju. High fructose corn syrup is really bad. Yeah, I've seen that some of the soda manufacturers are making like the sugar version of their products, like a Mountain Dew Classic or whatever, which has like cane sugar instead of corn syrup. Yeah, me and energy anything do not mesh. There was a brief period of time when you could get a Snickers bar called Snickers Charged, which was like an energy Snickers. And I got a little bit loopy. Kerbals are practically slaves. The stamp in the space, they don't come back down. Most of the time they just stay in space stations enslaved. I mean, they like it though. They love being in space. Okay, imagine this. NASA comes to you and is like, hey, do you want to live on the moon? The only caveat is you can't ever come back to Earth. I would be like, yes. Imagine how much better it would be to live with like less gravity and just float around. Well, not on the moon, you can't just float around, but walking is easier. They were sent up there they weren't sent up there forcefully. These are all volunteers. No one in my space program is been captured or forced into this. Vulcan Rider will be right back. All right, we will shortly. Well, no, you still get internet. There's just like a lag. So I don't know what the time. I think it's like maybe 4 seconds or something. So you couldn't play games online, I guess, which might be a deal breaker. But it's only a 4-second flight trip between Earth and the moon, I think. Mars is a little more because that's like several minutes. But still, I mean, just pretend it's the 90s. Everything's slow. And there'll probably be some kind of like caching done. So it's not like you're clicking the button and then waiting for it to go all the way back to Earth. There's probably like local servers. All right, ladies, let's see where we're at here. Speed up time until we're a little bit closer. All right, a little bit closer. And disengage. Point retrograde. And we're ready to go home. Did we pass the KSC? No, we're like way over here by the crater. Gotcha. Just sitting there waiting for the page to load. Yeah, I mean, it could be like that, but like I'm saying about having moon side servers, it would update like the whole internet. No heat shields? No, not for urban low orbit. I don't use heat shields until I'm going to the mun, at least. And then even that, I'm taking out most of the ablator to save weight. Because the heat shield itself will still absorb a lot of heat even without the ablator in there. Although it does look kind of beat without having the heat. Oh well. It's KSP, everything looks good. Oh, what do you guys think of the lighting also? I can like tweak it. We'll change it throughout the night, see how things look on my end. I think it's probably such a small screen, it doesn't matter. If I had it full screen, it might look a little bit different. One new pilot, one engineer has been relocated. I think we should be good for a while. Something I recently learned, Beetle Rock says. I eagerly await your learning. Typing furiously. If you ablate an ablator to near zero, it turns black. Yes. So basically, as you take the ablator out, you're just uncovering the like heat shield base, which is black. Although I imagine that's to simulate everything charring up on reentry. But the fact that you can tweak it in the EAB, kind of funny, I guess. Jar. Kitty Lynn says, what is this learn? Well, in KSP, you have to learn, or you will never progress. One of those kind of games. Kind of like me trying to play Hearts of Iron, where I'm so used to EU4 and the others that I'm like, oh, I can't just make a death stack. I have to have a front line and stuff. It's a very different style of game that I'm used to. Put a little spin on it. I'll try spinning. That's a good trick. An alright trick, I guess. It's not great. Speaking of Star Wars quotes. So there is a Twitch channel that I occasionally watch, where one of the channel point redemptions is Star Wars trivia. But it's only the original trilogy. How lame is that? Like, I'm here with my knowledge of pod racing and midichlorians, and this is all just boring stuff from like the 70s. Like, I don't care that an Imperial Walker is called an AT-AT. I want to see I want to see Jango Fett and some clones. I mean, not really. Like, those movies are garbage, but the trivia is fun. The deep lore. What is Admiral Thrawn's first name? Everybody knows what an AT-AT is. Like, who cares? No. Like, the re-entry period is now over. I think we can probably physics warp. Yeah, this is... what is everyone's favorite Star Wars movie, if you have one? I will reserve my opinion until I've heard everyone else's. And if you don't like Star Wars, I expect a paragraph of reasons why not. I know Vulcan Rider prefers Star Trek. Can't blame him. Star Trek is pretty rad. Though, for science fiction TV shows, I really haven't watched that many. I don't know what my favorite would be. Maybe like one of the Marvel shows, I guess. Those are kind of science, right? Loki's pretty science fiction. And I haven't watched Hawkeye yet, so I can't vouch for that. The parachute. No, not really. Not as bad as the triple parachute stuff. One of those trees again. We're gonna have to send a rover out grasslands to investigate one of them. Warp here. And we are almost safe. Ta-da! Kerbal pilot recovered. Let's look at our next mission. And speaking of next missions, this Saturday, yes, it is Christmas. Yes, everyone will be spending time with their families and loved ones. But I will be doing a 12 hours of Christmas stream. And it's going to be our first Eat the Lego Holiday Special. That's not a movie. Good choice, though. So 12-hour Kerbal extravaganza. We'll be doing Eve planning. And shipbuilding, and then probably time warp to the transfer window so we can just go ahead and launch. Because I'm not going to play out missions for 2 in-game years. We've got another year and a half to go almost before our transfer window shows up, and I'm not going to actual mission that amount of time. I'll be spending time with myself, my most loved one. Yes, exactly. And all of the people who show up. Spending time with chat, my favorite people in the world. We want to repair a satellite. I mean, that's a pretty easy. Just send it in there. Build a new orbital station on a solar orbit with 1,500 units of monoprop. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. Although we only need to have a pilot on board. This would be a one-way trip for, I mean, not necessarily. We could eventually rendezvous with it. The equatorial orbit of fun. That's a pretty easy one. Let's do that one. I need to design a new satellite. Build a new unmanned probe that can jump power. The probe must be assembled, yada yada. Reach the designated equatorial orbit. Easy. Have a thermometer on the satellite. Easy. Do that one. Probably a little more humane than sending some pilot spend the rest of their life orbiting the sun in an empty space station. The inspector that we designed. Let's upgrade to the inspector. All right. Now with more fuel. I think we might want to do something. Yeah, we've got the thermometer on there. We've got the antenna. I mean, this is basically just a little brick. Payload. Big. That, although that's a little goofy looking, to be honest. Probably fine. And I want to put, I think, guys, with, is it the Bobcat that has the best ISP? No, it's the Cheetah. Really wish it didn't look like that. What if we do There it is. Coupler. Perfect. Ooh, look at that. Nice and fallacy. Just the way a rocket should look. Engine jettison. Oh. Edit. Okay, so launch, separate, launch. Delta V. Couple. And I want to say this should get us to the Mun, but I don't know. Try it from 50 kilometers. 7909. Can that get us to the Mun? I wonder. What do you think, chat? Is that enough Delta V to get us there? I think that might be overkill, honestly. It almost feels bad for the level of overkill. Alright, well, whatever. It's not like it's costing us that much. 8,800. And no crew. Fine. Blah. Go for launch. So phallic. Yeah, well, maybe not as much as it could be. Like, the top is pretty bulky compared to... You know what? I'm not going to finish that sentence. Let's just launch. Oh. Thrust to weight ratio is a thing, right? Okay, I guess we'll be chilling. Hang on. I'm going to fix it. Thrust to weight ratio is a thing. Let's just say that. So this is obviously getting some boosters. I didn't even check thrust to weight ratio. I just, well, to be fair, it works at altitude. So that's more my fault for assuming that it would work elsewhere. Let's throw a good boost. Something just kinda hammer, that's too. Maybe just the back? How big is that? Yeah, that's probably good. Those going down there. Big. Oh, we have these ones. Rockety. There we go. Left myself muted. Slide that down. Perfect. Back the thrust to weight ratio. Too high. Limit that thrust. How about like a nice 1.45 is good to me. And I think we're ready to go. Now I know this thing has way too much Delta V in it. But again, it's still relatively cheap, so I'm not too. Okay. Be good to go now. Set. Throttle up. And let's go. Now the only issue I can see is the lack of reaction wheels on this thing. Could be bad because, okay, this is a swivel, so we should be okay. I'm gonna say I don't know how much gimbaling we have on the engine. It is a swivel, so it should be fine. As long as we get nice, steady, and we do not have any of the other advanced assists, so I've got to basically fly this whole thing myself. So the only response I got on favorite Star Wars movie was Star Wars Holiday Special. So I'm going to have to assume that all of chat loves the Star Wars Holiday Special, unironically. And I'm just going to say you guys have terrible, terrible taste in movies. Because that's not even a ban, whoever said that. Hello, Coder Austin. Thanks for stopping by the chat. Yeah, I would, but it's my moderator, so I can't. Like, that person obviously does deserve to be banned. I took a video of my MUN rocket launch, but it is too large to post to Discord. Oh no. Can you turn it into a GIF and post the GIF? That might cut it down. Or you could just put it on YouTube. I am so over Star Wars in general. Oh, sorry, Emmykin said the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special. In which case, yeah, great Star Wars Holiday Special. I mean, considering there've only been 2, definitely the better one. So, worry not, Coder Austin. Nobody said they liked the Star Wars Holiday Special. Okay. How are we doing? Almost done with the main booster. Then we will switch to our secondary booster. I did not stage that correctly, but that's fine. And this one has good gimbling as well, so we should be just fine. Hello, and thanks for the welcome. You are very welcome. We appreciate everyone who shows up, because without the chat, there is no show. Just me, here in my pink kitty headphones and my world's greatest cat dad shirt, playing video games in the corner of my living room. Last Dolphinator. Hello, Last Dolphinator. Oh, there we go. Hard career mode. Hard is just the hard difficulty. So I just picked the hardest difficulty, which is hard. Although I'm kind of tempted to do a custom hard with all the bits and bobs checked as well. But as for now, it's just regular hard mode. Is it hard? It is hard. So difficulty options hard. Just the default hard. I keep saying default. There is like a default mode. Sorry, that's probably confusing. The difficulty is hard. As for other things that are hard, I can't vouch for that. And it is pure vanilla, no mod, so these, if you're watching for tips, they should be applicable to anyone's game. If you're here to give advice, anything that's not mod related is perfect. You play on console. Ooh, wow, yeah, you're a braver person than I am. This have, okay, this does have reaction wheels. They're just not very good. Got it. So it slowly turns. What are you launching? This is just a satellite for a mission to put in orbit of the MUN. So I just grabbed a quick mission for some money. Oh, somebody followed. Crap, I can't see. Wait. Oh, the Last Dolphinator. Thank you very much for the follow. You are tonight's follower of the day, so congratulations. It was me. We are friends now. Yes, exactly. That is how Twitch works. Although, to be fair, most of the people in this chat all kind of run in the same circles of Twitch channel, so there's some friendliness there. Oh, let's boost here. We overshoot our target again. Now, anyone out there who is not already followed, don't feel shy. You can still follow. I'm not gonna turn it down. You just won't be the first follower of the night. Yeah, a lot of cross-pollination between KSP channels I found. Good word for it, Vulcan. Okay, so I suppose we should probably set up our France here. Second. Oh, we should probably make sure our orbit is, yes, it is counterclockwise. That's weird. Very weird. Maybe it's not that as weird as I think. Yeah, okay. It wasn't as weird as I thought. I was just being obtuse. Alright, so something like that should be perfect. What is cool is that we have streamers in other streams. It is cool. What does Kerbal Engineer do? Kerbal Engineer, I believe, is a mod. So Coder Austin is recommending, or saying, I don't know how you survive playing this game without some mods like Kerbal Engineer. I'll tell you, I've gotten very good at vanilla Kerbal over the years. So I just make do. And, okay, Emmykins, yes, Jeb did not survive. That was chat's fault for distracting me with erotic fanfiction talk. I was trying to make it wholesome, and somebody brought up Kerbal porn. Just brute force everything. That is one way to do it. So I played Kerbal before they added any other planets, before they added Minmus. I played when they had just added the Mun, and they had a handful of parts. You had to make do with what you had. So I've been playing for a long time. Gotten very good at eyeballing things. And oh, this is a slow turn. Okay, it's not as slow as I was concerned it was going to. And as far as like Kerbal Engineer goes, they've added most of the features that I would have used Kerbal Engineer from, like the Delta V readouts and stuff like that. I think we're good to go. See here. Follow our progress at the Mun. Okay, I better not drink water just yet. I was a broke 5th grader. I only got KSP this year. I'm 20 now. Well, then unfortunately you got it on console, so you're gonna have to try double hard. That is true, says Coder Austin. They have added a lot of features now into the game. Yeah, a lot of that stuff that people were like, oh, well, you need X, you need Y, is just in the base game now. So most of the mods that I see people recommending these days are either the visual stuff or like extra parts. And I don't use extra parts, although I am interested in some of the like faster than light or like near to the speed of light stuff. I think that's cool in like interplanetary. But ultimately, did you do a maneuver node for the Mun? Yeah, I did. I just want some of the visual mods to work. Which ones are you using, Vulcan Rider? Or are you trying to use, I guess? I don't know if they'll work on Linux, unfortunately. Alarm here. I think we should be good. There are no ejection. Go ahead and warp our transfer. And yeah, KSP2, I think most of the people playing KSP these days, or at least the people that I watch, are really excited for KSP2. And that includes me. So that's kind of what got me back into it. Seeing that it's gonna maybe release. Wait. Why did it pause way the heck out here? To mess up. Warp again. So yeah. So I got back into KSP because KSP2 comes out next year. And hopefully we can switch over to that, because that's going to be really cool based on the vids they've been putting out. Eve, but it is not working, and a couple of others like Scatter. Yeah, I don't know how compatible those are with the Linux version, unfortunately. So yeah, you might have to get some like real specific tech support on those. Here we go. Heading into the Mun periapsis. We will do our capture burn. Well, we won't circularize because we need to get into this bigger orbit. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to bring the orbit down into so that it connects with this one. Then we're going to ditch transfer stage so that it collides with the Mun. And then we are going to circularize there. All right, let's see what we got here. Most of my issues, Last Dolphinator says, in KSP seem to be a creative stall. I'm stumped on how to use the parts creatively by making mistakes and stuff in a sandbox save just to figure things out. I learned with Matt Lown. Yeah, Matt Lown is a great resource. The older Scott Manley stuff. And there's like plenty of KSP YouTubers that do tutorials and stuff. That's how I learned. Oh, missiles. Okay. And Gandalf Lundgren, this Vulcan Rider, showed me how to get to a moon encounter without a moon. You absolutely can, yeah. It's not that hard. You can eyeball it. I do it basically every hard career because I can't afford to unlock the patched conics early enough in the career when I need to be going to the Mun. So I eyeball it at least once. You need to watch Charney if you want missiles. Yeah, I think Charney does a lot of like robotic stuff, right? I tried to play the game once and then my rocket exploded. I mean, yeah, it's a rocket. That's bound to happen, right? You just kind of got to learn from your mistakes. It's one of those types of games. Almost. Very absent. All right. I got to do this manually. Yeah, Emmykins is no longer allowed to play the game. Like, why won't it just go? And then explode. Yeah, there could be any number of reasons for that. But my rockets tend to be pretty robust and Spartan compared to some of the stuff I've seen. I don't do a lot of fancy stuff with SSTOs. I try to avoid using robotics. I don't use probes most of the time unless it's like a strictly unmanned vessel like this one, satellite. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, don't use pilots, just use a probe core with a scientist, everything. And I'm like, what if I'm at a communication range? What if something happens? So I just use pilots for everything. I'm okay with that. I know my playstyle is very unique, shall we say, from a lot of other people. But I think that's what makes it interesting to watch, personally. I've only ever built rockets. I've never built an airplane or a drone. I've built airplanes before, just like standard jet planes. But I don't make base planes. Yeah, Emmykin says, I tried to play once, but Star took it away from me. I haven't built a space station yet, can't figure it out. Well, a space station is just a rocket that doesn't have to come back, right? Like, you just launch it up and leave it there. It's actually almost easier. Finally got to Mun orbit with the 5th incarnation of this rocket. All right. Were you able to land? I didn't follow up on that. I said, I know you sent me a message about trying to land. I need to speed up out to the apoapsis. Slowly going. What I like about satellites, they are also fun to fly. Yeah, like the smaller vehicles especially are just a lot more maneuverable. I found, if that's what you're talking about. I'm getting ready to try. I've been wrapping Christmas gifts and doing some all afternoon. All right. Hopefully everybody enjoys their you've had enough time to mentally prepare yourself for the anguish of your first Mun attempt. Mun landing attempt, I should. Already made it. Oh no, we overshot it. We'll go back. Go back, go back, go back. You know what I should have, and I have one of these, is a camelback or like a hydro pouch or whatever that I can just wear on my back and just have a little straw. That way I don't have to like pause to get drink every so often. Although that might be a little distracting. So we're gonna set this up on a collision course with. Oh, okay. Flip back around. We're actually gonna do it this way. Tiny craft are my favorites. That's why I'm doing the missiles, trying to make super compact systems. My first Brahmos missile is accurate. You're just making little ones. You're not making like big cruise missiles. I sometimes, or at least I have in the past, made cruise missiles that are designed to collect science around Kerbal, because it's easier than trying to make a plane that does it. Now, go on our merry way. Quick save means never having to kill a Kerbal, which is why I play on hard, which does not allow for quick saves. Because then you gotta be careful with every single mission you do. There's no simulation, there's none of that. Everything you do, you test it live. Alright, there we go. Got the orbit. Beautiful. Look at this little thing. It's perfect. Gonna chill up here and collect science forever. Let's give it a good name. Unsat E. Perfect. And I believe that gave us some money. Ooh, make hypersonic missile. Yeah. Skipped that one. This one is just a shrimp on top of a mite with a nice cone, probe core, a few separatrons, and a reaction wheel. The reaction wheel is just for the initial flight. Alright. Are you using any mods for that? No, you can't because you're on console, I suppose. So you're just like messing around. Well, if you want me to like show you some simple vehicles you should be able to make, like basic parts, let me know. I love like slapping stuff together. In this, I don't think we need a new one. Still want that solar orbit, and I'm kind of tempted to give it to him. The only issue I see is that it needs 1,500 units of monoprop. So let's see how big our biggest tank is, because that's a lot. Or I think it's a lot. I don't know if it's actually a lot. Monoprop. Okay, so this holds 20. Already not a great start. Look at some of the bigger. This holds 400. This holds, so 2 of these big boys here. Oh, they're not that bad. I think that's the 2.5 meter size ones. We could probably pull that off. Like if we brought up the... Oh, yeah. Oh. We saved, yeah. Alright, the Mun station design, which I think might need some tweaks. I was planning on making some tweaks for this. Get rid of this. Leave the robotic arms. Get rid of the batteries. Side. Place them with... There we go. And then get rid of this. Auto strut. Grandparent. Auto strut to the grandparent. Strut. Auto strut. Auto strut. Okay, there we go. Yeah, just kind of figuring out a couple systems, Last Dolphinator says, trying to expand my creativity so I can do more fun missions, just some stuff for my own immersion. Alright, yeah, that's the best way to play, I think. So let me show you my, like, basic station design that you might be able to, I don't know, some of that. First thing we're going to do is add zones. Yes. One of the things that I said I was going to do, actually, no, this is probably fine, is to add, let's say I grab this, and use these ones as the docking ports. They're just regular ones. I think this like this. Weird. There we go. There are the docking ports on the side. The more from Last Dolphinator. I really like the seismic data scans. I was thinking about making a system to drop a missile accurately, as well as surface and orbital stations with some sort of practical purpose. Well, the main practical purpose for stations is to have a science lab on them, or a mobile processing lab. And then you can process science to squeeze more science out of the experiments that you do, which is very useful for getting that little extra juice in hard mode, for example. Water time. Ooh, that's cold. Okay. Advanced. Okay, these are the grabbers that so I think this should solve our problem of things like flopping around. Had with the hinges before. Anything else? Or if we... Oh, I guess we need the monopropellant, huh? Where would that go? That help get more? Yes. So basically, I'll show you in a second, but basically you put some scientists in your science lab, or the mobile processing lab, and you take experiments to the lab instead of recovering them, and you would basically click on it, or right click on it, or whatever it is on console, and there'd be a button to process the science, which would put it into the lab's data storage, and then over time, the scientists in the lab will convert it into science that you can then transmit back to the KSC. And I don't know the exact numbers on it, but basically, if it's from a body that you're orbiting, or if you're in a lab that is on the surface, then there's more... Oh, sorry about the ads, guys. I can't turn them off. But I turned them to be the lowest. Hopefully there's not too many. I'll try not to do anything. Let me actually check. Got a university. Well, sounds like you need to head to school then, huh? Let me check dashboard. See what the heck's going on. No uni for you. Might be smart depending on your life goals. Okay. So I have it. It should only run. Okay, it just ran the 30-second ad. That's why. Basically, it runs one 30-second ad every hour, and that's the lowest I can set. All right, so this is our sign here. The main thing to make sure that the center of mass is someplace, I guess. I think we can just stick. We better put them on drop down. One. Yeah, 2 of these guys. That's a lot of monopropellant. I'm actually really curious to see if this thing can lift off. So this is the sun station, I guess. Theoretically, we can go take that mission now, then send a Kerbal Knot off to go live in orbit of the sun forever. Take a look. Solar orbit. Docking port, blah, blah, blah. 7 Kerbals, that's done. Doing a couple of done. Monoprop done. All right, off we go. Gonna be an interesting one. All right, Vulcan Rider says, mine has been trial and error, but I also take the liberty of asking streamers like me and Urban Venture and others dumb questions and hijacking their streams. You know, it's not really hijacking, because without chat, there's no stream. Really, otherwise, it's just a YouTube video then. What are we? I think we might want to swap. I think there's more weight. Module. Processing lab. It really didn't change much, did it? I do. Nope, nope. Goes there. Go. And then theoretically, pretty strutted up, right? Grandparent part. Part. Okay. Reddit was useful. Yes, Reddit is always very helpful. They have their weekly questions thing, and Matt Lown is probably one of the only big Kerbal streamers who still does tutorials, I think. Some of the ones that I've watched have kind of moved away from doing KSP tutorials and gameplay into more like real space stuff, like Scott Manley and Shadow Zone, the other one. All right, I'm a little concerned that this thing will not fly very well, I guess. But theoretically, it can fly. What matters. Real space is starting to get interesting. That's a good. Okay, so this is one of those ones where we need to like launch it and then refuel it, right? Yeah, we've done this before. So I'm thinking, because there's only 1,800 meters per second delta V in this entire thing, and I don't know if that's enough to get into good solar orbit or not. So, Scott Manley seems to be doing a Twitch KSP stream once a year. Really? That's cool. James Webb should go up this week. We'll see. That's what they said last week. Guess that's the thing about space, though, right? It's a little unpredictable. Gotta keep it interesting. So I wonder if it's worth slapping a relay on. Probably not. It's gonna be base. What else does this thing need? We've got the solar power, we've got the docking ports, got the advanced reaction wheel. James one was supposed to go up near my birthday. That was months ago now. Yeah, they've been pushing it back. I think that we might just have to launch this as is. I can't. We could try a rigid attachment, I guess, and see if that helps a little bit. Maybe strut up the sides. So. That on. Forgot what it's called. There we go. Strutting up the sides. All right, I think that's our best bet here. So what brave soul? Not Valentina. Can't spare Valentina. Deloc. All right, Deloc. You have been chosen. Go into space. I don't think we send Duvis. I don't think we send anybody else. I think we just send Deloc. Go live in space forever. You know what the purpose of the tiny nose cones are. What do they even fit? They should fit. Might not have unlocked them. They should fit the smallest category of rockets, which would be the Oscar B size. I don't know what that size is. It is. Yeah, it doesn't say, but basically it's this tiny little thing here. So if it doesn't fit on that, then I have no idea. Make sure we have enough monoprop. Unused monoprop. 50, 50. We put some verniers on, maybe? Be kind of useful. Verniers. I think vernier is what they're actually called. That should maybe help keep us upright more than we have been in the past. The tiny's even smaller. I have no idea. Let me check the science lab here. You know what unlocks it? It would have to be those aerodynamics, maybe. Oh, the tiny nose cone. I don't know. That is very small. It might be used for robotic type stuff. Very small. Tiny, very small. So it might go on the end of the turboshaft engine bit. I think it's aerodynamics for supersonic flight. Okay, yeah, I'm in there. It's aerodynamic. Advanced aerodynamic fan shroud. Yeah, I've never used these the blades. So I think it might go with the turboshaft engine. Alright, but enough dilly-dally. It's time to launch this solar station. How many flips will it do? I guess we'll find out, won't we? Rest away. Good. Everything is fine. So we should be able to get this thing into orbit with as little fuss as possible. Then we just need to send up a refueling mission, fuel it up good, and then send it off into solar orbit. Hopefully it can actually handle that. Otherwise, we're gonna need more fuel than we have packed. But I'm a little concerned here. Is 1,800 meters per second enough to get into solar orbit? It's 900 to get to Minmus. Can't imagine it's much more. I think we're just gonna go for it. props are really complicated, especially if you only want. All right. Yeah, so basically the way we've been doing this in the past is we send it up. Wobbly again. It's wobbly, I'm gonna problem. Probably fine though. Let it ride. Okay, first things first. Make sure all the maneuvers and stuff are pulled out. This will launch us. This will detach the boosters. This will fire the actual station engine. What else do I need? Don't need to turn on RCS just yet. We're going to save that for an emergency. What else we need to do? I think we're good. So it's 3,400 to get into orbit. Is the delta V you need. I know that much. Basically what we've done with these in the past is we send them up and then we refuel them later. We're just going to go straight up. We're not going to gravity turn at all until we ditch these boosters. Although we may have to turn east a little bit here, depending on how this is going. But we're going to try not to flip this one. I know I joke about, like, it's not a real launch unless you flip twice, but it costs a lot of delta V to do that. Most efficient can be down to 2,200, I think. Ooh. Well, the thing is, your delta V, like, increases as you go up in altitude, right? So it might say 2,200, but really it's a lot more than that once you get up out of the atmosphere, or like to the thin atmosphere. But you do need an orbital speed of 2,200 or 2,400 to be considered to be in orbit. I think I remember that much. Look at those Verners doing their job. Beautiful. Huh? Huh? We're holding it. Holding it this time. Not like super efficient, but they do function the way they're supposed to. Alright, I think that's probably good for now. Worry about getting into... No. There they go. Now I think we can focus circularizing here without worrying about... Hey, no flips! Do I ever use asparagus staging? All the time. Not usually for 2.5 meter crafts, just because it's a pain in the butt with those big tanks. But for the 1.5, absolutely, I'll use asparagus staging. It's like my favorite kind of like cheesy thing to do. Oh man. Okay, let's see if we can fix this orbit with the fuel we've got. We are going too high. All right, look at that. Look at it wobble. Just loves to wobble, doesn't it? Yeah, I really should. I mean, there's only so compact I can make these, right? Like, I need this many things. I guess I could flap them on the side like that. I wouldn't call it cheese so much as it kind of makes sense. I keep ejecting the nose cone. I'm going to see how much more distance I get if I leave. Yeah, test out the aerodynamics. It's kind of a funny, weird system. As for calling it cheese, I think the main thing is that it doesn't work in real life because the mass of the pumps and the forces that would be created by the like pumps and the hoses and everything needed to actually make it work would break. They like would make it cost prohibitive. Why you don't see asparagus staging in real life. But yeah, in Kerbals, it's like the most efficient way to do it. Although it does cost a lot for those extra engines, obviously. I suppose you could do it without extra engines on the side booster if you had enough thrust to weight. Okay. I think we can call that about good now. So we'll just boost. Go. I'm really curious with this. It's really small, so the flat face it leaves is small, and I'm just curious as to how much of a difference it is. Which part are you using? Are you just launching, are you doing like sounding rockets basically, just launching straight up? The shrimp. Is that the SRB? I don't think I've ever used that, if that's an... I rarely use the smaller ones because I don't find them very useful in most cases. Like in launching the station, I use some SRBs, but that's only because I need the extra thrust and don't want to slap more liquid rockets on. We've almost made it to orbit, and we've got a little under half a tank left at this. It isn't terrible. We shouldn't have a problem getting the refueling ship up here, getting everything loaded up. Tiny SRB, but it's not even going to space. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that one could make it to space, honestly. Okay. What are we dealing with here? We are on a path down. Very apt. Seem to be any way to do that that doesn't also boost our Apple apps. Fortunately. I guess maybe if we really hula hooped it here, that might work. Oop. Gone too far. Okay. I think we're good. We will circularize just above the atmosphere. Liquid rockets are heavier for the amount of boost you get. No. Maybe. The thing about liquid rockets is you can pack extra fuel and then ditch the extra fuel without ditching the engine itself. That, and they're not more cost effective, but they're more efficient by mass. So no, they're not heavier. The SRBs I think are heavier, but don't take my word on that one. I'm not a KSP expert by any means. I just know how to eyeball it really well. All right, so the shrimp can make it to space if you just let it go straight up. Wow, that's pretty impressive for a little SRB. Isn't it practically a firework? We're gonna approach our periapsis here. We're going to bring our orbit down, retrograde, and then we'll worry about getting a fuel tank up here. Also, we need to do something about this debris floating around. Keep forgetting about that. Perfect. A retrograde. No, he's right. The solid rockets have more overall thrust to weight, but liquid fuel is more efficient. Okay. Yeah, I don't know the exact numbers on it. I just know to use solid rockets, we need a little bit of extra thrust, and you don't want to put together a whole... I think it's better for career where you're worried about money. Because SRBs have more bang for their buck, so to speak. Well, meow. Hi, I'm in timeout. Welcome back. Yep, I'm wearing my pink kitty headphones. I've got my greatest cat dad shirt on. My cat is somewhere around here. We've got the camera. I had to rearrange my whole living room in order to make this setup work. I have crammed myself into like a 5 by 5 foot corner of the living room. Got the light, got the camera, got my desk, got my big water jug. and everything's working out pretty well. So thanks for stopping by. Okay, watch our apoapsis here. Gonna bring it down just above 70. Then we're gonna send up the refueling ship. We're gonna fuel her up, and then we're gonna send this thing off into solar orbit. Right. I'm in timeout. It says, I'm great. How you guys doing? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Bit cold here. I was very bored at work today, but that's a given. Any work day. I did get to watch some ASP streaming earlier. But now it's my turn. The nose cone let you hit 1,000 meters per second. Well, there you go then. Whether you want to be going that fast is, I don't know. That's up to you, I suppose. Alright, let's get this piece put out. Locked. No. There we go. Okay. There go the solar arms. Extended to start generating power. So this is the best use I've found for robotics. Hello from Japan, King Akira 9001. Welcome. I like your emotes. Or I guess those are just emojis. What is this? That is King. Oh, another streamer. Oh, take a look here. First time chat from King Akira 9001. I think I might have seen you in Urban Ventures chat. Is that correct? Ooh, that. And as always, thank you very much for the follow. He's my homie. He's a great guy, yeah. He's just so cheerful. What on earth was that? Oh wait, oh, host. Okay, gotcha. Thank you for the host. Like, you already followed me. How did you do it twice? All right, we need to get a fuel truck up here. But first, before I forget, we need to switch to this debris and bring it down. There's more streamers on Twitch than Starshard? No, they're not. And yeah, Vulcan Rider is here. 50 kilometers up and on course for Mun landing. All right. Let me know how it goes. Just make sure you quick save. Wow, the periapsis is 59,000. All right, we'll worry about this one later. Right, so for contrast, Last Dolphinator says regarding his nose cone, ejecting the nose cone, I maxed out around 340 and only hit about 10 kilometers up, 20 kilometers down range. All right. Yeah, there is aerodynamics in the game. So that is something to watch out for. Now we just need fueling the rack where it is. Send it up. And I guess we can get wreckage. Stuff. This should be crashing into the Mun. Oh, is it really not been long enough for that to happen? Ah, there we go. Now, King Akira, do you only play KSP or do you play other stuff? I knew it would be important to the aerodynamics, but not that important. Yeah, drag. Urban Venture was doing a space plane SSTO earlier. And we kind of realized that the drag was causing issues for it. So yeah, the drag from the aerodynamic forces can be pretty huge. KSP is life. I don't know about that, but it is a great game, and I do love streaming it. Okay. Go. Time to send up our refueling station. Yep. To the station. Loading lag there. So yeah, KSP, great game. Love it to pieces. Love watching people play it. But it's not the only game I play. I've considered maybe playing other games, but my heart only has space for KSP. You know, there's other space games out there, depending on what genres you like. What is this thing? Test that I was doing. The XK, oh, that was my experimental. We need the crew transfer shuttle, that's the one. This thing is loaded up with. This time, I'm gonna remember the solar panel. Kept goofing that up. Alright, save. Everybody out except a pilot. Valentina can do the honors. Decided my ejecting separators were better used to help lift off the pad since it's going to hit the air hard. Wait, it's blowing up. It's blowing up now that you've changed it. Might have to go back to your previous design. Fire this thing. What is my destination? We just sent up a sun station, or a station that's going to be headed to solar orbit. So we need to refuel it so that it has enough juice to get there, because it used all of its juice getting into orbit. Stuff is open here. This should be a pretty routine mission, so I don't expect any problem. Again, blowing up. Yeah, you gotta watch out for the heating. What are you bringing the fuel from? Just buying it from the KSC. Got a tank. I don't do anything fancy like Urban Venture. I don't have the patience to make an angry fuel truck. So yeah, nothing so fancy as a mining base. Although it's not that expensive. I mean, I've got 1.5 million pesos to be fine. Oh yeah, that truck is overkill. Would only work if you're forcing it to work. I do like the design thought that goes into it, though. I think that's really cool that he does all that. Good. Let it ride. 48 kilometers is where I maxed. The truck looks great. I think he finally got it working. I don't think I saw it. It was like bouncing around last time I checked. I think he might have got it working. Maybe not. Anyway, as far as other space games go, I play RimWorld on Wednesdays currently. And Friday has been Monster Rancher. But I might be swapping that out for a different game. I don't know yet. Maybe XCOM. Maybe... I don't know. I've got a big list of games that I want to play on stream. But it's hard to squeeze them in when people kind of expect stuff. Mass Effect? Ooh. That's... probably not. That's like a long game and it's a story game. So people would expect me to play through the whole thing. And that's a big commitment. Throwing it one day. I know possibly an alien's been playing, and she's having a good time. But she likes those kind of games. Oop, okay, we have run out of fuel. We're just gonna coast till we get up there. RimWorld is neat. Yeah. That's why I've been playing it. And I actually have the Twitch integration mod, so if you show up for RimWorld on Wednesdays, you can actually... yeah, I got it. I've got the Twitch toolkit already going. People have sent me plenty of fun stuff, like polar bears and what have you. There we go. Oh, yes. Pilot wings? Oh, yeah, let me just dig out my N64 and we could give that a go. Or do you mean, like, Nintendo pilot wings, like on the classic... I unfortunately do not have an N64. I have a PS2 somewhere around here and a Dreamcast. But the only game I have for the Dreamcast is Sonic Adventure 1. Oh, the Super Nintendo one. All right. I definitely don't have that. Is it on the Switch store? Guess I could do that. I'd have to get a capture card and everything. Play Switch games. Keep selling my polar bears. I'm going to keep sending you more. You would actually watch Pilot Wings if I got that set up? Alright, you figured out what blew up? Alright, what blew up? Here is our target. Okay. Pilot Wings, totally KSV. I've never played the original Pilot Wings. I've only played a little bit of Pilot Wings 64. So, I would have to check that out. The emote? The little blue one? Oh, the kitty one. Okay. The little cheap winds couldn't handle the, oh, the wings. Oh, okay. Oh, you got some lewd ones, kind of. Just the one. Bunch of anime faces. I actually did get my emotes in. I had a sneak preview for you early birds of one of the emotes, or two of the emotes, plus the new art for the avatar for the channel. So I guess you can go back and check the beginning of the VOD. Otherwise, I'll probably bring up some more towards the end of the stream so everybody can see. I don't want to hog it. You guys can already see my face because I got the webcam thing set up. But there's also some art that I want to show off. Stick around for that. So, Kitty Lynn says, I'm not getting any sleep tonight. At least I don't have anything I need to do tomorrow. Lucky you, I have to work tomorrow. I'm asking a friend to make a new animated emote of a Kraken tentacle. Oh my. Well, hopefully it's only used for wholesome things. Yeah, I've got 5 emote slots, I think. And eventually I would like to get more emotes. Obviously, everybody wants to get emote. Wholesome. Oh no. Guys. I think that intercept going. Here it comes. Maybe. Because we do have to get our periapsis past the spot. And then it'll slowly come back. Slow but surely. You guys are just showing off your emotes now, huh? I would show off mine, but I'm flying. Can do. I like a weird angle. Oh, that's probably fine though. Figure it out. I think we're in nice stable configuration, so let's zoom around far side and try to rendezvous with the Mun. Not really called the Mun, just the design. What's your emote going to be like? I will show you if you stick around, but it's basically I created a little character. I had an artist draw the character up and then make some emotes using that character. And they're not, like, I have them now. I'm going to upload them, but I'm going to get feedback from everybody because I want to tweak them over time to make them more applicable to the channel, if that makes sense. Like, I want to make sure that they have a cohesive art style to them. They're kind of similar. So, cohesive art style again. and I want to make sure that I like the way they all look and that everybody who uses them likes the way they look. Stand by for more info on that. Here. We're gonna corral the nav ball. Node thingies here. You're saying there's a chance you might get a Kraken tentacle. Probably not. I think there's isn't there already like a default Twitch emote or a global emote for that? Like the Kraken tentacle? Or just like a tentacle in general? Yeah, there you go. That one already exists. You don't need to make your own. I guess you could make an emote that's compatible with it. That might work. May have overdone it here. Hope we have enough fuel to fill up. Now nose cone plus extra mini boosters plus optimal launch. All right. Tentacles come in many forms. It's true. They do. Jellyfish have tentacles. Octopus and squid have tentacles. Weird anime monsters have tentacles. Takes all kinds, right? There. See where we're coming. Yep. Way off. No. There we go. Now we should be rendezvous. That's still crappy. What the heck am I doing wrong? Normally works. Alright, oh, I see what I did wrong. Got it on the wrong. Okay. Maybe less than optimal. I only made it to 15 kilometers again. Yeah, it definitely sounds like you're getting a lot of atmospheric heating there. So it may be worth either turning the thrust down, and you're using the nose cone, right? So you should be as aerodynamic as you can be at that size. Yeah, you can always turn the thrust down if you're going hypersonic or supersonic in the low atmosphere, because that generates a lot of friction. In atmosphere, 15 kilometers and 1500 yes are the height and speed of death. Want to go fast? That's an easy reminder to avoid explosion. There you go. I think Akira has your advice. Going too fast. You need to slow down. I'm having a heck of a time with this rendezvous. Usually this is tedious affair. Might just be because I'm distracted again. Oh, is there a happy Kerbal? I missed it. Three here. Burn and throw. Get down to 2. Probably close. Frustrating. Or pitch up more. Usually 15 degrees is good. Want it to explode before I turn the missile. Okay. So, oh, you know what? Christmas is coming up. We need to talk about the weirdest Christmas movies. And I know Emmykins has a good one. It's a Brahmos, so it uses Sepratron to pitch down to about 45 degrees and just go hard. Elves. Emmykin says the movie Elves is the weirdest Christmas movie. Are there any objections? Haven't seen it yet. You own Elves, but you haven't seen it yet? Are you sure you have the right Elves? The one with Dan Haggerty? Because I think there's one on Netflix. Not this. So, oh, Elves, the Elves that Emmykins is talking about is from 1989. Stars Dan Haggerty, and it is free to watch on YouTube. It's like a horror movie. It is, but it takes place at Christmas. Dan Haggerty plays a mall Santa. The finale takes place at Christmas Eve. I don't know how much more of a Christmas movie you can get. Cruise here. Close in. Closer and closer to... Oh, what happened? We enter the atmosphere? Oh my goodness, we did. That's... no. But I forgot we're not working with very big margins due to the sorry about that, guys. Hopefully it's not too shrill. This time I'm going to be smart and not crash, so bear with me here. Gonna get the speed down. I'm a big fan of Will Ferrell. He's the one that taught me an important lesson related to KSP. Something to do with the angle of something. Wait, what are you guys talking about Will Ferrell movies for? You guys are thinking of Elf. That's the movie with Will Ferrell. That's a different movie. Like Anchorman. I do enjoy the occasional Will Ferrell movie. I like Step Brothers is pretty funny. If a bit dumb. Different. Yeah. Well, Elf is the, like, happy holiday Will Ferrell's an elf. Elves is the one with the, like, Lord of the Rings puppet elf. Vulcan Rider can take him. Old school, there you go. Vulcan Rider says, I can take Will Ferrell in small doses. I think that's the best way to experience him. There can be too much Will Ferrell. I think he shines best when he has a co-star to bounce off of that isn't, like, horribly embarrassing. Oh, Megamind. Yeah, Megamind's not really a Will Ferrell movie, though. It does the voice for Megamind. Megamind's just a solid all-around movie. Alright, Last Dolphinator says, Elf and Step Brothers are good. His worst was his 3 episodes in The Office. What about Holmes and Watson? I thought that was his worst movie ever. Although, yeah, he wasn't great on The Office. When he's doing a voice that's better. Yeah, he has a good voice. Unfortunately, I think he just kind of has, like, his voice. He's not the kind of voice actor that does voices. But that's okay, too. Not everybody can do, like, a million voices. Right, we are closing in on the station. So all we need to do is dock, which means we're going to have to fold up the solar panels and dock on one of the sides. He could have been a lot better in The Office, but I usually sleep through those episodes. Yeah, the later seasons are kind of meh. With him or with whoever else, it's like, who do you want to replace Michael Scott? I don't know. I don't think anyone can. That's the nature of the show. We're gonna slow down to 1 meter. I'm going to take a drink of water. Ooh, I am hydrated. Yeah, not everyone can. I mean, even Mark Hamill has his limitations. Like, obviously, he does his Joker voice, but then he's got his other characters. Gibbs from regular show. Last Dolphinator, referencing The Office. I still enjoy the later seasons, especially once Dwight's story polishes up a bit. Fair. And King Akira says he's my favorite Joker. I think he's everyone's favorite Joker, except some like weirdos who prefer Heath Ledger. But he kills it not only in Batman the Animated Series, but also in the games. So, I don't know. That's just kind of how it is, right? Bolt these up. We're going to be shooting for the lower docking port here. He even did a Gib... Oh, who did he voice? That's true that he did. I know he did. He played Skips on regular show, which is how I know more of his voice stuff. Although, I mean, I'm familiar with Joker. I didn't know he did other voices as well. Around. I first noticed it was Mark Hamill when I played Arkham. I didn't know when I was a kid when watching the cartoons. Yeah, when you're a kid, like, a voice is basically a person, right? Like, you don't realize that people can do different voices. He did Muska from Buddha Castle in this guy. Okay. You didn't watch Batman the Animated Series as a kid. Yeah, I didn't either. I think I just didn't ever watch that channel, or I wasn't really into superheroes at the time. More of a like Nickelodeon kid. Alright, so I've tested this version of the missile in low atmosphere. Now I'm going to try a larger suborbital missile. I'll be happy if I can deliver payload to the other end of a pole. Alright. Well, good luck. It's, missiles aren't really my thing, so I can't help you too much. I can just tell you some of the more basic stuff, like heating and all. Alright, we need to slow down. Turn on precision mode here, so we're not going nuts. And then we need to set docking port as target. And then here is the top of the ship. Down? No, that's backwards. Watched the newer... Let's see what happened here. Did watch X-Men, Kitty Lynn says, with the epic... Oh, yeah. That one. I never watched it, but I did know the theme. Watched Batman and Beast Wars and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And Kitty Lynn watched the newer... Now, newer as in... the newest one, or newer as in... the one from, like, the 2000s? Oh, no! Mun landing, crash, and burn. What happened? You couldn't slow down fast enough? I was always creeped out by Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys. They have white eyes. Is that not right? I don't... Now that I'm thinking, I don't know what color they're supposed to have. The 2003 series. Okay. So the, like, middle one, kind of. Coming in for a landing. Wait a minute. Is this the right place? Okay. Yes, this is the Mun station. Like, if this is the Jeb Memorial Station, we're in the totally wrong place, but it is, in fact, not. Safe. Okay. There we go. Believe we are now on track. Do adjust. Go. Playing the crane game here. You just gotta get online, right? The nav ball here. There we go. All right, we are docked. Beautiful. Now comes the fun part. Get to transfer all the fuel out, and hopefully we have a full tank. Otherwise, we have to do that again. Not a full tank, I don't think. Not quite, but it might be enough to get us to solar orbit. So, I think we can call that good. Good work, team. Valentina, Belloc. You guys are great. Tina here. Send her back home now. All right, how do you get your RCS to burn? Okay, so for RCS, step 1, toggle RCS. Find on your keyboard H, N, J, K, what is it? So H to go forward, N to go backwards, I to go down or something. I and K go up and down, and then J and L go side to side. So there you go. All right, so let's see. Akira is talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They have no pupils. They have white eyes. They're super scary. I don't think I've seen those. So there you go, Vulcan Rider. Now you know how to just burn the RCS to make adjustments. Probably turn off position mode there. I think that's all right. You can also turn on docking mode, but I find that that's not necessary. Okay, yeah. We are going. Burn most of this off. I don't know how much we have. I guess we can look. Yeah, we got a little bit left. Fine. So RCS is great. Obviously for docking is the main thing. And then just like adjustments for space planes usually people use it for. Most people, yeah, most people don't know how to use them. I don't remember when I learned that. It was years ago. But I was trying to figure out how to better dock, right? Like, oh, don't use docking mode, just use the IJ blah 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 blah. Oh, okay, sure, why not? Engage here. Great. We're coming in over the crater again. In the dark. Pretty bad with them. Referencing the translation stuff here for RCS, but they still have light. Yeah, they do. You just have to kind of like position your camera so that it makes sense to you. I think that like that's what I was doing when I was kind of tweaking it so that the hatch is pointing up relative to where I'm looking. And that helps me center my burns and stuff like that. Coming in with Valentina, we'll recover her, and then we'll set up a maneuver to try to enter solar orbit. RCS, OMS are great to use also when in a sandstorm on Duna, and Jeb gets stabbed and blown away. Okay, it's the plot of the Martian. All right. Fun fact, I've never seen The Martian, or Interstellar, or Gravity. Oh, here comes Var, rating with a party of 1. How did your stream go? I can, yeah. I guess not super good if it's just you, huh? Kind of a bummer when that happens, I know. Did see Interstellar. Yeah, check out if you like the stuff that VAR is playing, looks like a little Rainbow Six. Go check it out. If you're just here for the Kerbals, then stick around. So King Akira recommends all the movies that I just said. So okay, so I haven't seen The Martian, I haven't seen Interstellar, I haven't seen Gravity, I haven't seen Arrival. Um, what's the other one? Well, I haven't seen Passengers either, but I don't think that's like the canon of good sci-fi contemporary movies, right? Var sat and played Rainbow Six almost all day. Are you good at it? Is it fun? Do you play with other people? I used to play Battlefield 2 and Battlefield 2142. And I like to think I was pretty good at those. I would never have streamed it. Just cuz I don't know. Not like an easy game to talk while you're playing. So, you've seen the original 90s version of Arrival, King. Okay. Nobody who plays Rainbow Six actually enjoys it. Ooh. Yeah, there's a lot of games like that, like League of Legends, right? People are like, "Oh, I hate League of Legends, but I've got like 10,000 hours in it." So I purposefully try to avoid games that have that kind of reputation, except for Spelunky and Spelunky 2. Those games are brutally hard. They're also fun and kind of funny sometimes. So I was actually talking with another streamer who's never played Spelunky, and that kind of makes me want to jump back in. All right, go eat lunch, King Akira. Go your bento box. I will take your dog speed. Escape from Tarkov is brutal, but it's great. Yeah, that's another one of those games that I hear like, oh, I played so much Tarkov, but I didn't like do anything, and it's so hard. Yeah, I kind of stopped playing first-person shooter type games. Many, I say like many years ago. It was like 15 years ago, maybe, if even that. And I've popped back in for a handful here and there, but nothing like regularly. Last Dolphinator says, I literally have to listen to my friends yell about how they want to uninstall Siege, then hop on the next day. Pretty broke. Yeah, that kind of game. So many dogs speak. Thank you very much. We can probably. Although, I'm a little concerned about re-entry heating if we time warp. So maybe we'll just enjoy this special time we have together while we wait for the re-entry to begin. Oh, okay. Here's the question that I have for today. Do you prefer pancakes, waffles, or French toast? Kitty Lynn says, I play Due Process if you haven't tried that. Not ever heard of that. What kind of game is it? It's kind of Rainbow Six-ish. Okay. I'm out. You know what I think I'm going to do, Vulcan Rider says? This attempt, I'm going to hang on to the second stage as long as I can, or until I run out of fuel. Yeah, that works. That'll slow you down a lot. All right, we got one vote for French toast. Wait, hang on. I can do this officially. Hold on. I have this ability. So we've got pancake, waffle, French toast. You guys have 2 minutes. Go. All right. I'll let you guys argue about it in the chat. French toast being an option, I gotta go back the French on this one, but pancakes are king if you want easy. They really are easy, aren't they? I mean, because a pancake is just a waffle without a waffle iron. Like, it's the same mix, basically. You just pour it onto a skillet instead of a waffle iron. French toast though can get kind of messy, so you kind of gotta like. Beetle Rock's having pancakes for dinner. I've been there. When you say not even, you mean it's not that messy? Or are you referencing my pancakes versus waffles? Like, if it was just pancakes versus French toast, or pancakes versus waffles, I go waffles every time. Pancakes are alright for dinner. I mean, yeah, they are. I guess it depends on what else you're having, right? I wouldn't just want to have pancakes for dinner and that's it. You gotta have some eggs, or you gotta have some sausage or bacon or something. But yeah, so in strictly pancakes versus waffles, waffles every time for me. But when you throw French toast in there, it's somewhere between waffles and French toast. Probably leaning French toast, just because I like the way it tastes. And I feel like it is a little more versatile. And what you're saying about things not being that filling, I feel the same way about all three of those, honestly. Like, I eat it and I feel full, and then like 20 minutes later I'm like, wait, did we just have dinner or breakfast or whatever? Waffles are the quickest. True, the waffle iron speeds it up. Pancakes just take it on the mouthfeel. I don't know, my issue with pancakes is they're always so like, and maybe I'm just making them wrong, they're just always so dry. All right, so what won? Pancakes won. Okay, well, only 3 people voted. But pancakes won 2-1 on French toast, and nobody voted waffles. If I had voted waffles, it would have got 1, I guess, but I was going to vote French toast, so it would have been tied. So that's fair. And look at that. Re-entry is done. So you can go ahead and time warp. Let's do the time warp again. And I'll pop the chute. Nope. I just need a better pancake. All right, all right. But I do agree with Vulcan Rider. The French toast wins, like, overall. Maybe it was unfair. Although pancakes did just win the poll, so maybe not. We might need to bring back that poll over a couple of nights to get some other opinions. Because I don't think three people is a good sample size on that. Time warp more. Yeah, the 3 parachutes just blows this thing down to a crawl. My impatience. French toast has all my voted, no debate. Alright, alright. Remember the Eggo French toast? I do remember the Eggo French toast. And I ride prograde all the way down. You mean retrograde? You can ride retrograde basically all the way down, but you have to remember to level out at the bottom so that you actually land properly. What you're basically describing is a suicide burn. Well, not necessarily if you're burning the whole way down. But basically you want to, because you're fighting against gravity, right? Dude, I saw someone make a ship that does that. It rides prograde all the way down. Everyone except Kitty is shilling for French toast, but pancakes still won. Yeah, I guess that just proves that you gotta vote, right? Like, your opinion doesn't matter. You gotta click the button at least. Alright, so Valentina is back at KSC. Let us prepare the sun station. I feel like I'm going too fast. I'm at 9,200 meters above the surface and at 99.1. Okay, important thing. I'm going to show you this real quick to make sure you're using the right measurement. I don't know if Urban Venture showed you this, so I'm just going to click on this guy. So if you're looking at this number with the ocean, switch it to green. This is your actual like land surface. This is above sea level of the planet that you're on. So make sure you're looking at the green one. Literally, he put a one size bigger heat shield and a nose cone and a whole thing with fins. He literally just let the nose cone explode and rode it straight at the planet and it worked. Oh, he did a little litho breaking. Yeah, you can do that. It is on green. Okay. You can. So what I like to do is, I mean, you say you're at what 99.1. Just make sure you're like dividing it by 100, right? So at 9,200 meters, you should be going 92. At 8,000 meters, you should be going 80. At 50 or 5,000 meters, you should be going 50 meters per second. Alien has arrived with the Raiders. Welcome in, everybody. We were just looking at some debris here. Isn't it beautiful? Floating here. Space. But what we're actually doing... Got the emote. It's the star, Chad. That's right. And if you guys stick around a little bit after the end of the stream, well, it won't technically be, it'll just be the end of the gameplay. I'm going to show off some of the art that I received today from my artist. I say my artist, but she doesn't belong to me. I hired her. And I'm going to see what everybody thinks. Every time, make sure you're like just putting them up a teeny tiny bit. Oh, you're going 90. It shouldn't be going up. You're using the shift and control, right? To kind of toggle the throttle. You don't have to go maximum speed all the time. On station. Star chat. I think I'm gonna have to make that an emote. Like just make the handsome Squidward, but make it my little character. Solar panel. Station. Station. Although Sunsation is kind of funny. Right, Vulcan Rider, yes, but I panicked because I got too low and too fast on the first 2 attempts. Well, just keep trying. You've got the quick save. You'll get it eventually. All right, so let's set up our burn here. I think we're just gonna go for between. Do we want to go between Eve or between Duna, Urban? I guess whichever one's less delta V, right? We would burn here. Yep. There we go. As it should be. Like, we're not going to have a ton of stuff to work with here. And make sure... Oh, what are we hitting? Are we hitting the mun again? Getting in the way. Worse than Ike. Hope I'm not missing too much while I'm doing this. I hope everybody's talking in the chat. Back a little bit. Okay, that's probably too much. How about we like kind of split the difference here? 16 million is probably good. And we this. that be? So keeping in mind that we only have 1,700 meters, I think we can get to a good spot with what we've got. Yeah, I can dig that. It'll be about a year before we can make our second burn, but as long as we put up the alarm. So Alien, how's Mass Effect going? Have you moved on to 3 yet? Our burn is coming up. It's gonna take 2 minutes for the first one. And then we should be off on an adventure here. Get ready to rock. Oh, 2 hours? Okay, yeah, we got a couple of loops. For apoapsis, periapsis are good. In fact, in the meantime, we can actually ride this thing down the rest of the way. And I'll catch up with chat while I'm doing that. Oh, I'm not under acceleration. Yeah. All right. Gandalf Lundgren says, nice kitty. Good kitty. Did I miss something about a kitty? Or are you referring to, where did Kitty Lynn go? There's Kitty Lynn. Hope I'm saying that right. Otherwise, I've embarrassed myself. Alright, so we're just going to ride this debris down. I could just shoot a missile at it and blow it up, but that's not as fun. So, thanks everybody for stopping in from the raid. Always appreciated. Always nice to see a little solidarity among Kerbal players. Oh. Got ears. I know. They're detachable, but I'm going to keep them on. Because, fun. I decided I still want to use the shrimp. I'm going to put the whole thing in a little fairing this time. Okay. Try that. Blowing something up isn't fun. I mean, it is, but it's not actually blowing it up. It's just clicking the button in the... Oh no, are you guys getting ads? Dude, that. I don't know why it's showing ads. It should only show ads every 30 or every hour, 30 seconds. Never lose the ears. Yeah, I guess they're kind of going to be my gimmick for the time being. Keep the ears forever. Yeah, when I say shoot a missile at it, I mean just click the button in the tracking center to delete it. Instead, we're gonna watch it go ahead. Oh, on mobile ads can be different. Okay. Yeah. Sorry if you guys get ads. I try to turn it as low as possible. But I don't know if I can actually turn it off. Yeah, I think Twitch just does it. Like, there's not a lot you can do about it. So, I guess if you miss something, just ask and I'll try to repeat it if it's something relevant or important. Or if you're feeling spicy, you can always just subscribe and then you get no ads. And the emotes will be coming this week, hopefully, assuming they approve my emotes, which they should. I mean, they're not like weird or anything. All right, here we go. We've entered the atmosphere. How low do we get? 59. Ooh. This might take a couple of things. What is that? Old Lucille? Feeling spicy? Subscribe. Yeah, I'll put that in the little panels down below. Sick of seeing ads? I don't know what to tell you. You're on the internet. You figure it out. It's Lucille Blue. Oh, okay. From is it Arrested Development or is that the other one? Either way, I haven't seen the show. I I haven't seen a lot of things, apparently. Spending too much time playing video games, I guess. Is this gonna slow down any appreciable amount? Or are we just gonna fly right? Yeah, I think we're just gonna fly right through the atmosphere. Unfortunate. Wave to the Space Center. Hello. Hello, Kerbals in the Space Center. Goodbye. Adventures, Kerbal Knots, quick save and quick save often. I can't quick save, so I do not have that luxury. Or I guess technically I can, but I can't load them unless the game crashes. Do yourself a favor, watch the first 3 seasons of Arrested Development and ignore everything after. Everything. Alright, fair enough. There's a lot of shows out there like that, huh? Where it's like, yeah, watch up to like the 4th season, like halfway through, and then just stop, because it gets real dumb. This is me, of course, referring to Smallville. So, if you want to watch Smallville for whatever reason, don't watch past the 4th season. I mean, it gets dumb before that, but it gets real dumb after that. Alright, it's like a Lost. If you watch past season 3, you'll find yourself saying, I've made a huge mistake. The banana, how much could it cost? $10 or whatever? I've seen the memes. That's kind of how I know about most of these things. Through the meme. Like, I never watched Breaking Bad. I've not watched Lost. Alright, Vulcan Rider. I touched down, and then I flipped over. Oh no. Yes, I think Urban Venture had a tip about that. If you can set the... If you can set your SAS to be... not this one, the opposite of this one. Yeah, this is done doing stuff, so we're just gonna... Back to the Space Center. Lost was huge at the time. I think I just wasn't old enough to watch shows like that. By that I mean like big network shows. I watched cartoons. Yeah. Let's just replay Mass Effect. Yeah. Like, I think the biggest one that I've heard people lament is Game of Thrones. Like, wow, I watched all 8 seasons for that? Okay, well that doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence, so I'll just skip it, thank you. Luckily I didn't have HBO, so I never watched it. Oof, Game of Thrones. I could play 3 video games in that same time. I know, right? That's what I always tell everybody, like, oh, you haven't watched X? Why not? Like, well, I was playing XCOM, and then I was playing Kerbals, and then I was playing RimWorld, and oh, look at that, a year's gone by. Sun Station. OMG Game of Thrones. Alright, so everybody kind of has the same reaction. I don't feel so left out. Loop around. How many orbits did we do to avoid the mun? Like 3 or 4? Okay. I think 3. I never finished it. Okay, you're gonna try it again tomorrow, Vulcan? Alright. Yeah, and it might just be that the lander is not particularly maneuverable. That's another thing you can run into. If it's... I don't know, like, you can land with just about anything. Possibly an alien with the wisdom. That's why I avoid shows everyone talks about until they're actually done. Based. Like, trying to think of some good examples of shows. Sopranos. People talked about Breaking Bad, which I think I haven't heard things like about Breaking Bad that it was bad. I don't know. I never cared. Game of Thrones was the one. Although, speaking of shows that I've heard everyone talk about, The Witcher on Netflix, I guess season 2 just recently came out, so if you've been watching that, supposedly pretty good. I don't know. I haven't played any of the Witchers except for like part of 1 and part of 2. Vulcan Rider says, since I'm this close, I can't not try again. I don't think I will make it back. How much Delta V do you need to get back to Kerbin? That's a good question. I would say about 800 from the ground. If you're just in orbit, about 200. Urban Venture hasn't started Jeopardy yet. Hope they wrap that up soon, though. I mean, any day now, right? I mean, aren't they still looking for a host? Here is our maneuver. Ready to burn. Got Valentina ready to rock. No, this isn't Valentina. This is one of our mooks. I think we're good to go here. Rocket. From the Mun, around 1,000 if you're really careful. 1,000 from the surface? Really? I don't think it's 1,000 from the surface, is it? I feel like I've done it with like 500. Or 800. Sorry. I guess it is around 1,000. Yeah. Yeah. So that's about right. It's 860 to get there. And then is it 680? Okay, 680 gets you back into orbit. Okay. And then it's only like 200 to get back Kerbin because you aero brake. As long as you pick a efficient transfer, should be good. Minmus orbit is only like, yeah, Minmus is the real cheap one. That's why I like it. Plus it's got the big flat areas to land on. It's like baby Mun. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and do this maneuver, and then we're gonna, I guess, wrap up the stream for the night. So, lurkers, if you're out there, possibly an alien. Don't know how long you plan on lurking, but I'll be wrapping it up. I'll be showing off a little bit of art. Call it a night. Have to go to work in the morning. I don't know about you guys, but I like to get a good night's sleep. A long burn. Alright. Almost done at least. Amen to that. Yeah, see, Ryder agrees with me. If there's one thing I learned from my time in the army, it's that I need to sleep more. No matter what anybody says. There we go. Let's make sure we're getting the place we want. I think we got up to what, like 16 million? Perfect. So that's what we want. This thing is on track to be about halfway between Kerbin and Duna. In the army, I learned to sleep standing up. I never learned to sleep standing up. But I did learn to sleep in like weird positions that were mostly lying down to unlock this skill. I mean, you seem to be functioning pretty alright with what you got. Alright. We are headed off to solar orbit. Got our big chunk of monopropellant, which we needed. Everything is good. I'm gonna check the Space Center real quick. Then I'm gonna time warp to get this into Sun orbit so it'll actually finish. Because that should only take like about a, I guess. Then we'll be good to go. So I don't think we wanted any of them. Gonna roll with it. Station. Vulcan Rider says, one case where I had worked a mid-shift, got back to the barracks just in time for the first sergeant walkthrough of the barracks. I opened my wall locker and was standing by and went to sleep leaning against the wall. Fair. Yeah, that's one reason to get married. You don't have to deal with that kind of nonsense, right? I'm gonna just look at this. We're gonna be passing min-miss. Not really. I think my payload needs to be in a fairing. Good, because I usually won't be aiming to hit. First sergeant walked in and said, comfortable? I said, sure, top. Top, of course, being a common term used for first sergeants in the army. And Gandalf Lundgren once fell asleep while breading shrimp at a fish restaurant. There may have been drugs involved. Yeah, there were drugs involved in Minecraft, so it's okay. We got 5 days to go. We're gonna head back to Base Center and see if there's anything we want. I think the only... Oh, I do have a lot of army stories, but I don't know. I feel like I should make people spend channel points to hear them. So I might add that as a channel point reward thing. Glad marriage had its benefits for you. Yes, it actually did. Thanks, Emikin. I got to move out of the barracks and I got more money. That's a good. Okay. All right. Last Dolphinator wants some financial advice. So, first thing you should do before budgeting, before investing for retirement, is you need to track your spending for an entire month. No judgment. All you do is whenever you spend money or buy something, you make a note of it, either on your phone or in a notebook. Say, on X day, I bought Y thing for Z amount of dollars. And then at the end of the month, you look through that and you see what you're spending money on. And you say, okay, I'm going to budget for this amount. So that's how you make your budget. You base that on the tracking of the spending that you did. And that's my financial advice for you. Track your spending. The first step to any good financial plan. But yeah, so army stories, I don't know. I'll make that one kind of expensive. I don't have a lot. I don't want people to exhaust them. So now we gotta get out another 5 days. This was the same first sergeant that one day when I walked into the orderly room asked me if I was going to participate in a blood drive. I looked at him and said, "About my blood, they can beat it out of me." Oh my. He was 6'5" and they thought he was going to take me up on it. I mean, I always did blood drives because, I don't know, why not, right? I did my best to avoid any first sergeant encounters. That was the last person I wanted to see. That and and anybody above that, obviously. You don't like needles? Oh, that's fair. Okay. Well, here it comes. This is going to be our first foray into exiting the urban system. Been getting needled a bunch lately. That sounds fun. I love shots. I know a lot of people are like squeamish about it, but I mostly do it because when I was a kid, my sister really hated like getting shots and needles and stuff. And I wanted to be like the cool sibling. I'm like, oh, I don't care. This is super cool. Yeah, how many shots you got? I'll take them all. And so I've just kind of stuck with that. Spite can be a powerful motivator. Sucking up precious blood. Oh yeah, he gets the, still gotta get that treatment, huh? I guess there's no escaping it. Alright, so we have entered orbit of the sun. And look at that money we got. And the fame. I don't like it. Drawing blood is not fun, but I've gotten good at getting through. Fair. As long as you can tolerate it, right? And then we have a maneuver coming up. Ooh, are those? That looked like, I think that was just the, thought it might have been an asteroid, but we haven't unlocked that yet. I don't need all this blood. They can have it. All right, there you go. So we are back at the KSC. We're going to check. Oh, you guys can't see it, but I also got a, hang on, ugh, a mic stand. So once I get my new microphone, I'll still be wearing the headphones. I'll just be using a different microphone, but it's not here yet. So you got to be patient. Mission control. Science data from surface of Fun. Not going to do a surface outpost just yet. Gather surface deployed mystery goo observation science from the surface. Oh, that's a good one. You can do that. Then rescue a Kerbal from the surface. I don't think I'm going to take that one just yet. Let me check what else. Plant flag, science data. Okay, so we'll worry about those next time. In the meantime, we are going to head on over to the stream endings. You're going to look at a little bit of art before we go. So, there we go. All right, so let me pull up a little bit of art. Image. Let's find a good one here. I guess we can do one of the emotes. Oh, okay, I got a cursed one here for you guys. Oh, not that one. That one's kind of. This is this is the Pog that I have. So check this out. There he is in all his Pogly glory. I don't know how I feel about the square. I feel like I could maybe crop the head out and leave that on its own. But this is what I have for now. That's what I'm gonna stick with. Look at another one. Nice. Yeah. What is yeah, there's an LOL one here too. Look at the LOL one. Oh, this one is cropped out like this. Switch to that. Perhaps, yeah, just a head, I think. And I can edit all these myself. Like, graphic design part wasn't the hardest part. It was mostly the character design. Oh, got one of these fellas. Bot, get it! Emmykins will get it, don't worry. Okay, nobody click that link. I can't, how do I do this? Alright, we'll just ignore it for now. I'll, oh, there we go. No. Okay, I got it. Figured it out. Alright. I know, right? It's like, ooh, you can just buy followers? I mean, if only it was that easy, right? Okay. Okay, so here's the LOL one. And then I have another one. This is... I don't know if you guys will know what this one is necessarily. This is a big brain or like thinking. So that's for when I'm thinking really hard about something that really doesn't need to be thought too hard about. Or where we head out. grab... I can't load the logo's too big. Oh, here we go. New followers. So instead of the kind of like generic ones that pop up, it'll look like this. And there's a like little animation that goes with it. So there you go. That's a little sneak peek at some of the upcoming art. We'll get those emotes uploaded tonight, and hopefully they will be approved. And I will, if you've got some suggestions, let me know. I'm going to be keeping track of all the feedback because eventually I want to go back with a big list of changes and be like, hey, can you do X, Y, Z? And then I'll have like some actual viewer feedback on what they like. Because obviously, if you're a subscriber, you want to have emotes that you can use in other channels that look cool. I want to make sure they all look. So, thank you everybody for coming out tonight. Thank you, the raiders and the hosters and the viewers and the lurkers and everybody else. You guys are great. You've been supremely helpful in making this a good time. So we're gonna pick a nice person to raid. Who is raiding? Alright, we're gonna head over to Campbell Kingdom. He's playing Hunt. If that's your bag, go for it. Hope to see you guys. Homie, I'll sub right now if you launch the game and crash or craft into the ground. Alright. Okay. Alright. We'll do that. Crash or craft into the ground. Do a big one. Alright, so I guess we're going into overtime here. I'm gonna hold him to that. Or her. Let's make a nice fast one. What do we got? Trying to use like massive stuff. Nice fast rocket engine. Reliant should be good. But and, oh wait, no. You know what this calls for? Some canards. Crap, where are the canards? There it is. No, that's the main wing. Crap, where's the canard? There it is. Perfect. Jeez. Alright. Let's go. Don't you dare. Oh, I dare. I don't know how aerodynamic this thing is, but I'm going to crash it into the VAB. Or maybe mission control. Whatever I find first. I should swivel. Seeing the canards explode will please you, huh? Oh, okay, this thing's a little, Okay, yeah, give me some fighter jet stuff here. Oh, here we go. Coming right into the science center, let's go. Cruise missile. Ooh, yeah. Take that, science center. Didn't do any damage, though. Alright. See? Full speed build. Oh, gotta... Okay, will it not let me just leave? Alright. That guy's probably long gone, but fun challenge. I think I technically crashed into the ground. Now make a missile that fires missiles. Tempting. All right. Back to where we were. The stream is really ending. I do have to go to bed. We will raid someone if I can find it. Again, thank you again to everyone. I will hopefully see you tomorrow. It's not Kerbal's, but it's gonna be something else, so come check out whatever that is. Here we go. Got it. Branch clear.
Got some Eagle Rare with your name on it. I haven't heard of that one. What's that? Star Shard coming in with the raid. Hello, everyone from Star Shard's stream. Thank you for showing your bean.